Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article here from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So it looks like some bad news for T-Mobile. T-Mobile is interfering with NextWave's network FCC fines. So the FCC sent them 2 notices of violation that T-Mobile is causing this interference. And today, as it stands, it's really not clear how T-Mobile might address the situation or respond to the situation. From what I'm reading and researching in several other articles, T-Mobile has about 20 days to respond to the FCC's finding and the notice of violation. They have 20 days to respond with a solution of how they are going to address this issue. So we more or less are going to have an idea of what this looks like for New York City in about 20 days. It's a very interesting market for T-Mobile. They have very high market share in the boroughs. It's densely populated. They need every ounce of spectrum that they can get. So I don't foresee anything crazy to happen. I don't foresee T-Mobile having to reduce bandwidth. The most likely outcome of a solution that I can see is there are certain power levels when you're interfering with each other. There are certain power levels that you have to operate in. NextWave is stating that they are operating within those power limits, and NextWave is saying T-Mobile is not. And that's what the FCC found in their findings, apparently. So the agency reported that in one set of tests, T-Mobile's median signal strength ranged from 23 dB to 42 dB above the operator's 47 dB UV/M legal limits. And then you can see in another set, the operator's median signal strength ranged from 17 dB to 24 dB above T-Mobile's 47 dB UV/M limit. So not to make it too complicated, I just think the solution to this is T-Mobile will have to operate within those legal limits so they don't cause any interference. I think that's the most likely outcome. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. Like I said, T-Mobile's not going to have to significantly reduce its power limits. They're not going to have to reduce bandwidth to 100 megahertz or 80 megahertz. I don't even think they will have to split the spectrum. It's still going to operate at, I think it's at 100 megahertz on one channel and 40 on the other. Correct me if I'm wrong in New York City. I think that's what it is. I just think T-Mobile will have to operate within those proper dB UV/M limit, and then the FCC should be okay, and that should no longer cause any interference. And if it does, at least T-Mobile at that point is operating inside the legal limit, and they shouldn't face any fines or anything like that from the FCC. Remember, right now, T-Mobile is trying to get some deals past the FCC. They're trying to get Metronet, Lumos. I know the DOJ already signed off on those, but they're still trying to get all of this past the FCC. They're trying to get Metronet, Lumos. They're trying to get US Cellular approved. So they got to play nice. You know what I mean? They're not going to all of a sudden go rogue and crazy against the FCC. So they're going to play fair and nice. And I think that will be the most likely outcome, that they just play within those legal power limits. And yes, it might cause some worse signal indoors. I mean, there are big buildings in NYC, the skyscrapers, downtown Manhattan. I mean, I understand it. So T-Mobile's looking at it from that perspective. Like, if we play within these power limits, we're likely going to lose signal and or cause some bad RSRP inside those buildings. But T-Mobile's just going to have to embrace the grind at that point and build out some indoor DAS systems and some other solutions to make up for that power loss. That's just what they're going to have to do. It's better than having the FCC take over and enforce certain other limits that they may not want to do. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't worry too much about this. In 20 or so days, I'm sure Light Reading will follow up with the official solution, and I think it's just going to be that. Nothing else that they can do. I mean, you know, I'll throw out the crazy scenario. T-Mobile buys NextWave, right? That would be the easiest solution. T-Mobile buys Nextwave. They get the extra 50 megahertz of 2.5. They go 190 megahertz in New York City. I mean, that's far-fetched. I'm reaching at that point, but that could be a solution too, right? They just make a big, huge offer. Nextwave accepts, and then they just disappear, but that is very likely not going to happen. T-Mobile will just have to operate within the legal limits, and then business as usual. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.